today is a special one. We're gonna honor our brother Clyde, and I've invited folks that what we do here, just for folks that have never been to Motivation on Demand, right? You've never logged in, you've never seen me live, you don't know what usually happens. What usually happens is you get here, and wherever you are, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you go in the comments and you just write something down. Just write down a word, a phrase, something that you want me to say, and I talk about it. Today, I definitely know what I'm gonna talk about. You can still throw things together, but today I'd like to take an opportunity to honor a teammate who passed away yesterday, Clyde Surrell. He's my age. He was my age. A great guy, a father. His daughter's actually swimming in the SEC championship today. So shout out to his kid. But yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. But I wanted to come on and give you guys some words that I think might be helpful to you. So we're still going to push on, and we're going to do what we do. Should have brought my damn rag. What was I thinking? I want to tell a story that not many people know. When I first got to Colorado, I went to University of Colorado. That's where So when I got to University of Colorado, I had Rudy, shout out. And shout out to Marwan too. He's actually part of this story. When I first got to Colorado, I had a tough time. The very first day I got there, it was, it was in the middle of summer, and kind of got off on the wrong foot, and I was feeling pretty down about being there, and I remember I just so happened to be coming out of the locker room, coming out of working out, and I was going to the next day, and I ran into Clyde, and he was, hey, what's going on, man? What's happening? We were talking, and I told him, I said, I feel like folks are misunderstanding me. I feel like folks don't understand, don't get me. They don't get who I am. And he said, well, tell me about it. And I told him how frustrated I was, and I wanted folks to understand who I was, and I wanted folks to get me. And he says, bro, you just got to show them. And we had talked that night. He, sat me down, and we talked for about a half an hour. And he said, look, you got to show them. If they don't know who you are, you got to show them. And I came up with a plan. And the next day, I went to practice, and after that, I was in the and some of you that were playing at the same time probably know this, but I got up, and typically rookies have to do talent, right? They do some talent shows and stuff like that, and I had to put myself, I put myself on stage, and I did a freestyle rap, and called some folks out, and as soon as I did that, Clyde stepped on stage as if he prepared, and he made this saying that kind of carried throughout the team for that whole year. It was you won't get the context here, but he said, what did he say? What is it? Catch me when I'm riding, man. I'm not hiding, man. Don't make me run up in your house like guiding, man. And the whole team just lost it. And Clyde had prepared that moment, and for him it was just a laugh, but for me, it was permission to be who I was, and to have the confidence to be who I was. You know, I was on a brand new team, trying to make my way, and yeah, I'm grateful. But what I want to tell you guys today is this. Don't wait. I had never told Clyde that. I'd never picked up the phone and called him and said, hey, I want you to know how much that moment meant to me. A mentor of mine years ago said, they'll never know what you're thinking unless you tell them. And this is my message to you today. They'll never know what you're thinking unless you tell them. So what I need you to do is to tell them. It doesn't matter if it's if it's a loved one or it's a friend, it's an old teammate, it's an old story that you've got, that you've been collecting, you've been thinking about something, and you know you haven't gotten around to speaking to that individual. But don't wait. Don't wait, because you never know when that opportunity will be lost. If you have somebody that you want to say something to, say it. 100%. All right, Rudy says, rest in heaven, Brother Clyde. Treos. Yeah, Mitchell says, man, Clyde was definitely like that. A real motivator, a true go-getter. He was. He was. So normally I get on here, there's a song and this and that, and I do my thing, and motivation on demand, people throw words out, and, you know, I'll do a little talk. I could still do that. But the message today is don't wait. Guarantee there's something that you want to say to someone that you haven't said. There's some person that you had a disagreement with, and maybe you want to clear that up. And they haven't said anything to you, and you haven't said anything to them, but you've got something that you'd like to say. Ask yourself this. If you didn't have the opportunity, would you regret it? If there's something that you want to say to somebody and you don't say it, and then you never get to, would you regret it? And if the answer is yes, then by all means, make that choice now. Take the action now. Doesn't have to be profound. It doesn't even have to be a serious situation. It could be. And I'm gonna bring on some teammates here too. Got some guys jumping in. Shout out to Fenton, man. He's gonna. Oh, never mind. Maybe he jumped out. But anyways, I've invited some of my teammates, man, if they want to jump in and say something and give some words, they're more than welcome to. Yeah, johnguyton.com/talk. If you played, let me pull up Corey for you. Corey, I can't see you, but if you're listening, I pulled you up just in case you wanted to say something, man. No, all good, all good, all good. No worries. I'm gonna toss that out just in case. I'll put that back. But there's a chat there, guys, too, if you want to chat and kind of say your thing. But I'll tell you, I think just so you guys know, if you do join on the back end, you go into the green room first, right? Nobody can see you. I'll pull you up, you know, the type of thing. Maybe Fenton was like, oh, wait, I don't know what it was. But yeah, jump back in, brother. Yeah, so if you've got something that you want to say to somebody, definitely say it. Definitely say it. The alternative is not ideal. The alternative is not ideal. You know, had he not said what he said to me, I mean, I'm not sure I would have finished there. I mean, it was rough. I first got there and it didn't help too, because my very, very, very first day, my coach leaned in. He leaned in and he said, come here. You think you bad? He said, come here. And I already was kind of struggling in period, just socially. And then my coach, very first day, comes in, he says, come here. He made me like lean in like this. And he says, I'm going to break your ass. Like that. I was like, what? He just said it to me, no one else. And I'm like, man, this is gonna be rough, and it was. Everything I did was wrong. I had to redo it all. It was wild. Everything I did wasn't right, and that conversation with Clyde, repeated in my head. It's like, yo, show him who you are. And so even the times I felt uncomfortable because I thought maybe I'm a little bit different, or I'm not from the same places a lot of my teammates are from, or I don't have the same backgrounds, or I don't have the same references. That's okay. I need to just be me. You're not very good at being somebody else. You're only good at being yourself. And he helped give me that, and I want to make sure that message is relayed out to you as well. Be you. Be unabashedly you. Be unafraid to be who you are. Because there's only one of you. And yeah, it could be scary. It is scary. I mean, it still is a lot of times to speak your mind. It's scary to throw out an idea that seems counter to everyone else. An idea that seems like you're the odd man out. That's tough. But you know what's scarier than that? Is regret. What's scarier than that is regretting saying something that you should have said. Regretting standing up for something that you knew you should have stood up for. That's worse. I've talked in previous motivational on demand videos about, pick your pain. Pick your pain. Now, this is pretty fitting for that. You get to choose. You have a choice now. Everyone that you can communicate with, the things that you can do, the things that are in your control. Your choice is now. If you'd like to take action, the choice is now. Don't wait until it's too late and then be in a position of regret. It's not a good feeling. It's like, give folks their flowers while they're still here. Give folks their flowers while they're still here. Do me a favor. If there's somebody that you want to call and tell them you love them, do it today. If you want to send a text to someone and let them know you were thinking about them, send it. If you think of a funny story and it makes you laugh and it's an old friend, clue them in. Let them know. I'm going to bring in Alonzo, man, just to hey, what's good, man?
What up with it, fam?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, minus the circumstances with our brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh, had to represent. Give me
Absolutely.
1 second to get out of this PE.
Oh, it's all good, man. We'll take you as you are. So usually these things are a little bit more upbeat, but I wanted to give an opportunity for folks to just, give a message and, what I'm saying, let folks know, what, maybe what Clyde meant, or even if you have a funny story, man, it's up to you.
I got a little bit of both. I knew Clyde since I was 12. We were in AAU track together, so Clyde was always Clyde, man. He was one of the funniest dudes in the room at any given moment. Yeah, he took me under his wing at a young age. He always showed me love as a young guy. Even he showed me how to hold the blocks for girls at track meets, like when I was 12. So, some typical Clyde. But love the dude. Even my first day when I got to Colorado, he's one of the first people to come in there, show me love, looked out for me. And I think everybody that's a buff, one of the words we're going to always remember is Jada got it.
Say one more time. I think you got cut off.
Jada gotta eat. I think everybody remembers that phrase from Clyde.
Jada gotta eat. Yeah.
And that doesn't change. So just make sure we as Buffs are holding down his family and his kids. And I know we will. We always step up like we do, but I know that's something we got to be aware of. But yeah, I just want to get in here and just spread a little love and honor my dude.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, man. You look good.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you look good, man.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of I'm in between classes right now, so I won't be able to stay on too long. But I just wanted to come in and pay my condolences and respects.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that, man. All right, man. I'll let you rock.
All right,
Thanks,
fam.
brother. All
All right,
right.
love you guys. Take care.
All right, right back at you, man. So Corey Alexander said, Clyde, my brother, I will cherish all of our memories forever. We lost a good man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. That's what's up. And yeah, if you want to roll in while we're here, you totally can. JohnGuyton.com/talk. And I'll see you in the little side deal and let you in. But yeah, do me a favor. If there's something, and for most of you, there is something. I was working with an entrepreneur years ago, and he was so overwhelmed. He was talking about the original premise of us talking was, oh hey Dana, original thing was talking. We were talking about him, how he was positioning himself in the marketplace and that type of thing. But we got down to his overwhelm. He felt overwhelmed, and we did this exercise that I still teach today. And we got a bunch of 3x5 cards, and we wrote everything down, and we just asked the question: what's the one thing I can do right now, such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary? It's called the focusing question. I'll ask it again. It says, what's the one thing I can do right now, such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary? And his name was Matt. And so I was doing this exercise with Matt. And what happened, well, he had 100 some odd things, all these things running through his head. The one thing, the one most important thing was to call his dad and tell him he loved him. Him and his dad had been getting into some sort of issue, none of my business. But that was the most important thing. All the business stuff, all the personal stuff, all the things combined. I mean, you take all those things. The number one thing was for him to call his dad and tell him he loved him. And he did. And his dad said, you have no idea what that means to me. I love you too. We'll work it out. Fantastic. Now, all the weight lifted off his shoulders. He was able to do his other things. So do me a favor. If there's somebody that you wanted to say something to, say it while you can. If there's something you want to clear up, say it. If there's something you're afraid to say because you're like, oh, I don't want to offend, or hey, I'm concerned, but I don't want to, hey, say it. Yeah. The alternative is not where it's at. All right, pick your pain. It's the pain, which is, could be the discomfort of saying something, or the pain of regret, knowing that you will never have the chance. I can guarantee you one pain is greater than the other. That I can guarantee you. The pain of regret. Was that, there was the whole thing where they said they were on a bunch of folks' deathbed, and it was all the things. It was nothing that they regretted doing. It was all the things they regretted not doing, not saying. So it's been a kind of a true theme throughout this whole thing. Has been, hey, do what you need to do. Say what you got to say. And right now, sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it is scary, legitimately. But yeah, I'll always there'll always be a place in my heart for Clyde, man. And we've lost other other teammates as well. We've had a couple of scares as well, and it's one of those stark reminders that we're not promised tomorrow. None of us are promised tomorrow. So the question is, what's the one thing you can do right now, such that by doing it, everything else is either easier or unnecessary? I'd like regret to be unnecessary. I'd like some of those things for you to be unnecessary. But that's going to be up to you. Up to you. And your decision on what you do, what you decide to do. When I ask the question, and I'm going to ask it again, when I ask the question, I know for a fact that there is an answer. If you're listening to me and I ask you, hey, what is that thing that is not being said, that you haven't said but you need to say? And who is it to? You know what it is. You don't have to type it here, but you know what it is. And then ask yourself, well, why Haven't you said it? And if you're honest with yourself, a lot of times fear comes to play. Fear comes in. And some people will say, I just don't want to deal with it. Does that sound familiar to some of you? I just don't want to deal with it. You just don't want to deal with it. There are people right now that would do anything, give up anything for the opportunity to deal with it. There are people right now that would do anything, give up anything, pay anything to have the ability, the opportunity to be uncomfortable and say what they were supposed to say. There are people right now that would give up anything to have a moment back, to be able to say that thing that they now cannot say. So how do you look here today with someone that you could say something to, some information, some statement, some concern, some idea, something that you want to do, something that you want to say, that you haven't said it because you're a little uncomfortable? Get out of your comfort zone. Who cares about you being comfortable? Bravery doesn't mean that you don't have fear. It means that you have fear, but you do it anyway. All right, we've gone longer than normal, and I'm going to wrap it up, but I wanted to leave you with this. Guys, don't wait. Say it anyway. I'm John Guyton. This has been another episode of Motivation on Demand. I appreciate everybody who contributed, jumped on, messages and hopped in, teammates and friends. Love you guys. And Clyde Surrell, rest in peace. You definitely won't be forgotten. But I also have a challenge for you today. Not Clyde, for all of you, of course, as just remember, today it's fresh. Today it's fresh. Just got the news, it's fresh. But don't forget the message next week. Don't forget it next month. Don't forget it next year. Give yourself a reminder if you have to. Put it in your calendar if you have to. Put a reminder on your phone and just remember the feeling. And for you, it may not be Clyde, because some of you are here live and you don't know who this man was. But you've got your own Clyde Surrell in your own life, somebody that you've lost, that you'll never get a chance to speak to. Remind yourself that there are these moments that you'll never get back. Remind yourself that you're not promised tomorrow. If you need to, put a reminder for a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. The future you is depending on today's you to do the things you're supposed to do. Today's you, depending on today's you, to remember to keep the promises that you made to yourself. So what promises are you making to yourself? What things are you saying that you need to do? What things are you saying that you need to say? Have you been inspired to say, you know what, I'm going to call my dad and say this, or I'm going to call my mom and say this. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to do it. Well, do it. Tell a friend right now. Ask them to hold you accountable. Put it in there. But just remember, don't let it fade. Don't forget. All to be reminded one day in the future when you lose someone. I hope this was valuable for you guys. It's not how I normally sign off, but we are going to do just that. Say goodbye to you guys all today. And Clyde, sending positive vibes to your family, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for the impact you've had on my life and all the people that you've impacted in your time here with us, man. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Peace.